We are very fortunate to living in a garden city, Christchurch, where green space are not just a luxury, but just a part of our daily life. But have you ever stopped and wondered how the abundance of green space can be beneficial for your mental health? Kia ora, everyone. I'm Susie Deng, but I usually go by Susie. I'm a final year PhD student in Health Lab and also from Faculty of Health. Today I'm going to share some interesting findings from my thesis with you. Mental health has emerged as a critical public health issue, both globally and here in New Zealand. And according to the most recent health survey, about 12% adults reported high or very high level of mental distress in the past 4 weeks. And this number was only 4.6% 10 years ago, and now it's 3 times than 10 years ago. And as you probably know, the 17 goals proposed by the United States about sustainable development goals. And
keep it away from the keyboard.
From keyboard. Oh, okay. How can I control this? As you probably know, the 17 goals for the sustainable development, and one of these goals, the 11th, talks about building sustainable community and cities, and green space and public spaces are highlighted and underscored under this goal. Theoretically, green space can benefit mental health through 3 key pathways. Green space can reduce harm, such as air pollution, noise, and urban heat. Green space can also have restorative capacities. For example, spending time in green space can restore your stress from life. And green space can also have building capacities. The existence of green space itself can encourage physical activities and can facilitate social cohesion. In the literature, the association between green space and mental health has been well established. But what we don't know is what is the effect of green space on mental health at different age, is that possible that at a specific age that green space are especially important for mental health, or all ages are perfect equal on mental health? And another question is, at what spatial scale is green space most effective? Like, for example, does 100 meter green space in 100 meters matters, or green space in larger scale matters? And recently, a Spanish scientist proposed a 3-30-300 rule for green space. And he suggests that everybody should see at least 3 decent trees from their home, and should have 30% tree canopy in their neighborhood, and should not more than 300 meters to access to the nearest green space or park. And however, does this rule also apply to New Zealand? This study is also using data from the CHDS, which Matt and Phoebe have introduced previously. And this study is using the whole 24 waves of data from CHDS, which is from birth to age 40 years. And we investigated the green space in childhood, which is from birth to age 60 years, and link green space in childhood with adolescent mental health. In this stage, we also investigate whether there are specific age in childhood that green space are especially important for mental health in adolescence. And the second goal of this study is to investigate whether green space in adulthood make difference for adult mental health. And we have 3 mental health outcomes, and they are all binary variables. They are depressive symptoms, anxiety disorder, and suicide ideation. And we classify participants into having depressive symptoms, anxiety disorder, suicide ideation, or not have these mental health outcomes. And we also have green space measure. They are continuous variables, and we define green space as any vegetated areas. And we measure green space as percentage of green space area around home within a certain distance. And we use the Global 30 Imperial Surveys dynamic dataset and the New Zealand land cover dataset to measure green space. Here is an example of the green space data we used. And here are 6 timestamps of the data from 1985 to 2015. And the green color shows green space, and the gray color shows non-green space. And if you compare the oldest one with the most recent one, you can find that some green space did disappear over time. And we located participants' location, residential location on these maps, and measure the percentage of green space around their home within a range of distance from 100 meters to 3,000 meters, because we want to know which distance is the most effective for green space. And the statistical models we used are Bayesian relevance life course exposure model and generalized estimation equation logistic regression model. I'm not going to dive into this part. However, what I want to mention is worth to mention that we consider a range of covariates in the modeling process. We considered factors from individual, family, and area level aspects. And I want to highlight that we considered 3 area level variables. They are area level population, air pollution, and population density. And they are all time varying covariates, which are very hard to get. And they are very strong confounding, possible confounding variable in the relationship between green space and mental health. And let's see results. Results 1. Overall, we didn't find any significant association between childhood green space and adolescent mental health. And there is no critical or sensitive age period in the relationship was detected. And if you look at the right graph, you don't have to understand that. I just want to show you that we can't make conclusion on the sensitive or critical age period because the confidence interval for this evidence are so wide, and some of them are overlay. So, and results 2, but we did find some interesting findings for green space and mental health in adulthood. Before adjustment, we can see that increased green space within 500 meters to 3,000 meters are all associated with depressive symptoms. Before adjustment and after adjustment, adjust for a range of covariates, some associations disappeared. The association at 500 meters, 1,000 meters, and 3,000 meters all disappeared, but the association at 1,500 and 2,000 meters remains significant. So they're saying that in adulthood, 1 standard deviation increase in green space availability within 1,500 meters and 2,000 meters was associated with a 12% and 13% reduced risk of depressive symptoms, respectively, in adulthood. And the 1,500 meters and 2,000 meters are roughly equivalent to the walking distance for exercise or working or dog walking in everyday life, and the association found at this spatial scale rather than smaller or larger possibly suggests that the benefits provided by green space are more likely attributable to their capacity to encourage health-promoting activities such as physical activities. And the 330-300 green space rule might not be suitable for New Zealand. We probably need to make another rule for New Zealand. And the advantages for this study is very obvious. We have 40 years follow-up period, which is very rare in other studies. And we also used a prospective birth cohort design. We tested the sensitivity of age and buffer size in this association. And we also provide life course perspective. But we are also aware of some disadvantages. We are aware of that objectively measured green space doesn't represent the real life green space experience, and we treated all the green space uniformly. Different types of green space might have different effects, and we only captured residential green space. People also spend time in other places a lot. Anyway, takeaway message. This study examined the association between residential green space availability and mental health over the life course. And green space availability showed a protective effect for depressive symptoms across adulthood. Thank you so much.